Alaloth Champions of the Four Kingdoms is an incoming this summer 2022 CRPG that plays like an action RPG coming to Steam. It's the kind of game that is obviously inspired by Dungeons & Dragons, Baldur's Gate, and Pillars of Eternity, but Alaloth Champions of the Four Kingdoms wants combat that is fresh and exciting, but with a deeper story than most ARPGs tend to have. So while playing, you will feel like it's a straight CRPG, but get that fast-paced, skill-driven satisfaction of an ARPG. Make sense? Think about it like this. During combat, much like a Souls game, in Alaloth you will be managing your combat with your mana and stamina depending on your class, so attacking, blocking, dodging, casting will eat up your relevant bar, meaning there will need to be tactics used, and doing all this with the classic CRPG isometric viewpoint. And then when it comes to interacting or story bits, it has deep elements there as well. They are promising a very big world, absolutely stuffed to the gills with villages, caverns, and tombs to explore. Gamera, the developers of the game, have carefully crafted the lore and story to really pull you in, and you can take a sigh of relief if you're worried about the lore because Chris Avellone is in charge of that for Alaloth Champions of the Four Kingdoms, and he is an absolute legend, having worked on Pillars of Eternity, Divinity Original Sin 2, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, amongst others. There are 40 separate factions within the game as well, but we will have to see how that plays out at release. However, we know that you will get entangled in their politics and make friends with some and enemies of others during your playthrough. Alaloth is also touting two different game modes. You've got your expected main quest mode, which plays just as you would expect, a story-based CRPG to beat the game, and then Alaloth offers a competitive mode where 4 players race to get the shards in the game and beat the final boss. Gamera is hoping that multiple playthroughs will definitely be a thing, not only because of these two modes, but also because your race and class is supposed to affect the events that happen while playing through it, and we'll get more to that in a minute. So the background story is something like this. A long time ago, the gods went to war. There were 4 major cities in which the 4 major races lived. Each had many houses within their nations to represent them, but then Alaloth came and the gods went to war. While these pantheons fought, some gods fell, and in the end, Alaloth the Evil One won. He reigned evil on the land, and foul creatures such as dragons came and besieged the kingdoms, and are still laying waste to all. With this came cults and evil groups to worship the hateful god of Alaloth. So with this kind of opening background story, you can expect the kind of world where evil has reigned for a while, so a dark, foreboding, kind of apocalyptic type of atmosphere where you will have to dig deep to find the light to fight the darkness, or perhaps you side with Alaloth yourself and finish off the houses and factions that are rebelling. Alright, I've got a lot more to tell you about with Alaloth Champions of the Four Kingdoms, but before I continue, let's give thanks to the members of Napalm. I am now officially full-time here on YouTube and could use your support. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to the members of Napalm. Thanks to your contributions, this channel is able to produce the content and get the equipment and gear necessary to keep this channel alive and improving. Thank you, and if you are interested in becoming a member of the channel and helping support my YouTube journey, please click join down below for a list of options starting as low as $1.99 per month. Please, I'm hungry. And I want to give a very special shout out to the Lords of Napalm, Bounty Code, We Toke Bitcoins, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, Farthest Reach, Not Sid, Sparrow, Carsony, Christopher Hensel. Thank you for your highest tier membership. Now on to the video. Now it won't just be you alone either. There will be 12 companions available with backstories to join or fight against you depending on your reputation, etc. in Alaloth, which is another distinguishing feature that separates it from most other RPGs that go for the action style combat. There will be crafting in the game as well to make your own armors and weapons and more. Also, we spoke a bit about the factions, and with 40 different houses, I would expect there to be a large swath of content available that will depend a lot on your reputation. Some things you do would be good for some houses, and that would set you on a path to be hated by other houses, and reputation is specifically mentioned as a feature. So you can expect the hard-boiled politics that makes a good story and allows for multiple playthroughs. The premise of Alaloth Champions of the Four Kingdoms is simple: to remind you of the early 2000 era of RPGs, but filled with mechanics and combat that give you that same gritty, hardcore feeling of risk versus reward you get from the Souls games or Elden Ring, all while maintaining a deep and rich story. This, I know, sounds almost too good to be true, but it's what the game is shooting for. And as of the time of this recording, they're shooting for a summer 2022 release, so we shouldn't have to wait long to dive in and see if we can live up to its own lofty expectations. If it does, this really could create a whole new subgenre in the CRPG space, and it's certainly one I think that deserves to be on your radar. It is planning to release, of course, on Steam for PC, but also they have plans for Xbox and PS4 and even Switch. But I'm not sure at this time if the console ports will be released simultaneously or not. Does Alaloth Champions of the Four Kingdoms sound like a CRPG that you could sink your teeth into? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing for more MMO and RPG content. That's what we do here. And hit that like button to help me battle the YouTube algorithm. And until next time, my friends, God bless and happy gaming.